Are you guys looking to get zero input delay just like pros like Peterbot and Booga? Well boys, if you watch this video till the very end and do the steps correctly just like how I do them, I promise you, you will be getting zero input delay. I've been taught these tips by pro PC tweakers and also professional Fortnite players. Alright, let's get straight into this. Okay, the first step we're going to be doing that I've been taught from is just go into our Fortnite settings and look at this, windowed mode, and you have to be playing full screen. Make sure you're not playing windowed full screen. This causes so much input delay. I know most of you have to play windowed full screen. If you are using a crossed-on crosshair, then fair enough, but of course, full screen is so much less input delay. Okay, keep on going. Resolution, you have to be playing 1920 by 1080. It is native. I know some of you do like playing stretch resolution, but stretch resolution does cause input delay. Even though you are getting more frames on stretch resolution, if you use 1920 by 1080, it is less input delay, and that is a fact. VSync, of course, all of you know, this has to be off. No matter what your PC is, no matter what monitor you have, make sure VSync is off. Frame rate limit, obviously, match this to your monitor. For example, I have a 240Hz monitor. Make sure you are playing 240 frames. Some of you will have a 144 FPS monitor. Make sure you're playing that as well. Rendering mode. In no recommendation do I say play DirectX 11. Make sure you are playing performance. You get so much less input delay, so much higher frames. It is unreal how much of a difference it makes. Okay, scrolling down, 3D resolution. I recommend if you're not getting the frames you want, you can dip this to about 95%, and your game of course will still feel fine. There's nothing wrong with 95%, but for me, I have a decently good PC, so I can ramp this up to 100%. Going down, native virtualized geometry. Boys, make sure this is off. View distance near, textures low, meshes low. All of these have to be the lowest, unless somehow you have such a crazy PC, then you can turn your view distance up to epic. Making your view distance up to epic, you can see guns from so much further away from other people. This will give you a tiny bit of an advantage, but again, I do not recommend doing any of these above, near, or low unless you have such a good PC. Okay, now we're done with this page, we can go on to the third setting across onto this clog icon. Once we're on here, scroll all the way down until you see building, and then it should say disable pre-edit option. Boys, I know some of you do like your pre-edits, but having this on will cause so much less input delay. Trust me, I've worked it out. I've been told by Peterbot, I've been told by pro PC tweakers, having this on will cause your input delay to be so much less. Okay, once we're done turning this on, keep staying on this setting icon, scroll all the way down until you see replays. Record replays, you have to have these off. I know some of you do like watching the replays after the game, VOD reviewing, seeing what you can do better, but having any of these four on will cause your input delay, obviously, as it is recording your game no matter what you're doing. Okay, our final important setting on Fortnite, one of the most important settings, we're going to have to go over to our keyboard and mouse settings, scroll up for me a little bit. Here it says ignore controller input. Boys, this has to be on. If you want your delay to be as minimal as possible, you don't need your PC to know whether if you're playing controller or keyboard and mouse. Obviously, if you're playing controller, click this off, but if you're playing keyboard and mouse, just like me, ignore controller input has to be on. Lock input method as mouse. Again, if you're playing controller, don't have this as on, but if you're playing keyboard and mouse just like me, lock input method as mouse on 110%. These two settings right here are the most important settings on how to get the less input like in Fortnite, as many pros have this on as well. Okay, once we're done with that setting, you can finally close Fortnite, and now we're going to head over to this search bar. On this search bar, just type mouse. Mouse settings should come up, click that, make it full screen, and here it is, the mouse setting. Once we're on here, click additional mouse options. On the right top side it should be here for everyone. Click that, now this little frame appears. Whilst on here it should say pointer options. Click on pointer options, select a pointer speed, and it says enhance pointer precision. Make sure you do not have this box as ticked. I know if you start your PC, if you have not done this before, this will be ticked for you, and if it's ticked, your mouse will just slightly speed up its acceleration as you're moving your mouse, and you do not want that whilst you are gaming, as obviously that increases input delay and your aim is just going to be so much worse. Make sure you have this box unticked. Once you untick this box, click apply. Okay, once you are done doing that, you can close your settings again. This time search for your mouse software. For my example, I have a Logitech mouse, so search up Logitech, for me, Logitech G Hub. Click onto this, and then it should open up with this. Boys, click onto your mouse. Here it says sensitivity DPI. You do not want to be playing less than 800 DPI. If you are playing 400 DPI, change it back up to 800. Then in-game settings, you are going to have to lower your sense, obviously, as your DPI has now gone up. If you are playing less than 800 DPI, your mouse will just flicker at some points whilst in game, and you just do not want that. Also, a massive important step, this is what causes input delay onto your mouse, is report rate per second. Some people have it set to 125 reports per second, which is just so low. Almost 10 times more, 1,000 reports per second is what you should be playing. Obviously, this will make your mouse 10 times faster, almost exactly, not exactly 10 times, but it is close. Make sure you have it as high as you possibly can. Some people have it up to 500. Make sure you turn it up. There is no benefit on playing on these lower settings. On to our last step, the most important step. Again, we are going to head over to settings. This time it should say gaming. Game bar. This has to be off in every single situation, only if you are getting your clips from game bar, which I do not recommend. You do need to download NVIDIA control panel and just get it from there, not use game bar. Have this off. Also captures, again, I was just talking about it. If you have this on, it will cause so much input delay, as obviously your PC is just recording every single little thing that you are doing, and whilst you're playing Fortnite, Rocket League, any game like that, it is recording it in the background, like it says background recording. Make sure you have these off. If you just started your PC, it will be on. Trust me, you're gonna have to download another software, as this just causes way too much input lag. On to our third setting, game mode. Boys, this is a tricky one. For some people, you will need game mode on. For some people, you need it off. I will explain if you should have it off. For me, in my case, I have a very good CPU and I have a very good graphics card as well. So in my case, I need to have it on. If you have a very bad CPU, in my opinion, a Ryzen 5, you should have this off. If you have below a 20 series GPU, have this off. But in my case, I have a Ryzen 7 and a 2070, so I have this on, as my PC can handle running this. But trust me, if it's not a good PC, have this off.